Pioneers in innovation, unique in every action. Welcome to the Game Changers on our television. Today's Game Changer is an individual who changed and introduced many aspects which would lead to take our business world to the next level. Introducing a IT college back then in 2000, and today it has reached more than 40 IT institutes across the country. Introducing to you today's game changer, founder, managing director of Ease of Group, Dr. Dayan Rajapakse. Welcome to the show, Dr. Dayan. Sri Lanka needs 360,000 ICT workforce by 2022. Your thoughts on this, Doctor?
Yeah, actually, this figure basically based on various workforce surveys that are done in the country. So, as all of us know, that IT industry is growing very rapidly. A lot of new companies, existing companies are increasing their number of employees. New startup companies are coming up, and that is the growth in the industry. Then, on the other hand, IT is becoming a part of every sector, manufacturing to retail to finance. Any institution has to use IT for innovating and improving their services. So, because of this, actually, all these organizations require IT professionals.
So, you thought about this 17 years ago? That's where you placed your first campus?
Yeah, actually we saw that trend from early 80s with the introduction of personal computers into the market, right? Sri Lanka was a bit late, but however we also felt that in the 90s IT is going to change, affect us in a big way.
Before coming into the IT world, let's have a major throwback to your childhood, Doctor. How was it all about? How interesting was it?
Actually, my hometown is Naramala, that is in Kurunegala district. So me and my two sisters, we were schooling in leading schools in Kurunegala. I studied at Malidev College. So my childhood actually was very interesting. We had time to play, we do sports, and also a lot of extracurricular activities while studying. I played for the Western band, I did swimming in school. And I was the house captain in school when I was in my year 12. But still, I was having my focus on my studies too. So I think it was an enjoyable time. We can recall our memories in the past. There's love, interesting stuff. A lot of friends at school time, and a lot of friends from Hill Village. So it was a great experience. I always can recall and be happy about it.
A bit about your school life. Were you a mischievous kid at school?
I was not that studious, but until I did my O-levels, when I got my O-level results, I had the best result. Not the best result in school, but I got. We had only 6 subjects, so I got 6 Ds. So after that only I was little, interested about studies, because I thought I have a capacity and then I should be little focused.
A bit about your university entrance. You had a district rank or something?
Yeah, I was actually because of the district rank only I was able to come into the University of Colombo, because usually from Kurunegala most of the people who get selected to medicine, they don't get their first choice to come to Colombo. They have to study in Peradeniya. But whereas I came on all island merit basis, so that is how I was entered into the University of Colombo for doing medicine.
How interesting was your stay at the University of Colombo?
It was a totally different experience, because then in my campus, actually Faculty of Medicine, we had probably more in 190 batch, about 120 from Colombo leading schools. So then I was able to mingle with different people coming from different backgrounds, from all parts of the country, different communities.
Interesting. What was your childhood ambition? You wanted to be a doctor from then?
Actually, I was not quite sure what I wanted to be, but my father was a doctor. So I wanted to be a good professional, But in my childhood, I didn't have an idea of becoming an entrepreneur or businessman. That's an idea that got planted later. But in childhood, I wanted to be qualified. I wanted to be a professional. Actually, I preferred to become an engineer because I was very good in maths. But only thing is, you know, in Sri Lankan context, parents have a little bit influence on your decisions, and my father was not really happy me sitting in the maths class. So I had to really you know, change my that idea, and you know, went on to do bioscience and become the doctor.
Till that point, IT was not there in your...
No, I had actually, because after my O-levels, there was a little bit of delay in starting A-levels during that time. So because of that, anyway, as a second option, my father wanted me to you know, do IT, because we were not too sure whether the education system won't get disrupted, you know, what are the alternatives. Actually, as a contingency plan only, I started doing IT. So, but still, after finishing that, I concentrated on what I was doing, which is bioscience, and got selected to the medical college.
Your childhood influences to who you are today?
Yeah, actually, one of my role model is my father. He's a GP, general practitioner, practicing in my hometown. What I liked about him is his charisma, right? He's very straightforward. He has very high personal integrity, and also he's a perfectionist. Whenever he starts some job, whether it is, you know, working in the clinic or matter at household, he wants to make sure it's done perfectly, it's done to completion. He never stops something halfway. So that is something that I always liked, and I still, in my practice, in my work too, I never finish something. Without finishing, I will not stop it.
You didn't have to look far from home for inspiration. You had your father.
Yeah, that was a great asset actually. So when you have someone very close to you, which can be your role model, that's a great asset for you.
IT started blooming, if I'm not mistaken, in your era. Like, did you have any plans when you started your BCS back then?
No, actually, that was I didn't have any plans of becoming you know, IT practitioner when I started BCS, but I just did it as an added qualification.
Today we see it like in most of our students, like they focus in one area only. If it is bioscience, they are into that sector only. If it is business management, they don't look at IT. Yeah. So they lack the skill of multitasking when it comes to the business world. So your thought on this, doctor?
Yeah, actually, it's a very negative approach because, you know, we never know what are going to be your opportunities in the future. I cannot predict what is going to be more demanding in 2020 or 2030. Things are changing so fast. Our predictions will you know, easily get changed. So I think it is always good to be armed with, you know, multiple skills, right? If you are qualified and if you have talents and skills, it doesn't need to be paper qualifications. If you can have competencies, like for example, skills that you acquire will definitely will help you to be more you know, adaptable, flexible, and get your opportunities more in the corporate world.
You continued your higher education in the University of Colombo Biomedical Science. Yeah. So where did this switch come into play to start up a business school, IT school?
Actually, I was a part-time lecturer when I was doing medicine, because I had completed my BCS when I just started the medical school work. During the first year itself, I completed the BCS professional exams. So I was a qualified IT professional when I started my medical undergraduate degree. That gave me an opportunity for me to share my knowledge in private colleges, becoming an IT lecturer. So the entire 5.5 years university life, for my pocket money, I was doing lectures. So then, and the best thing is that a lot of students actually like my teaching style. I was teaching using my intellects as well as from my heart. So the response that I got from the students, that was amazing. They talked about me, they associated me, they gave very positive feedback. And that is where I thought, I might have a talent, I might have an opportunity of starting an IT school.
That's what motivated you.
That is the
Do you have a role model in your life, Doc?
Actually, after becoming an entrepreneur, I had a role model which is Steve Jobs, especially who made a significant change to the IT world. I liked his resilience. Right, failures were very common in his life, but he had the courage to face those difficulties and come back. So as a businessman, I actually like his story, and there are a lot to take from his story. And then I also like innovation. I like to do things different, and I don't like, even in the business world, even if I'm diversifying, I like to enter into a blue ocean rather than a red ocean.
He says, stay hungry, stay foolish. So your view on this, Doctor?
Actually, you have to think in an open mind, right? If you do your basics right, the opportunity will turn to you, right? And then you can get your vision in the right direction and move forward.
What are your hobbies and passion, Doctor?
One passion is actually IT. I am passionate about IT, and I'm passionate about the innovation that brings to life with IT. Then my hobbies are, I like cycling. I do cycling, and then photography, which is especially wildlife photography, and also a little bit of swimming.
All right. Do you like engage in partying or something?
Sorry?
You like to dance?
Yeah, I do like dancing because that is fun. When you meet up with people, you need to enjoy yourself, be relaxed. Life is not all about doing business and achieving goals. You need to associate people. You need to meet with them. Still, actually, I have so many friends from different backgrounds. My school friends, my village friends. Friends from the medical fraternity, IT friends. I worked in IT companies, so a lot.
Doctor, your entrance to the business world, how does the journey begin back then?
I started this business at a very tough time in my life. That is during the time then I was doing internship in my medical career, which is the hardest time in a medical profession because it's your first job. But then I got an opportunity, an idea. No, it was not only me, actually. There were about another 3 or 4 friends of mine joined with me when starting ESOP way back in 2000. So that is, we had a initial brainstorming sessions and how we want this company to be taken forward.
And where was the first ESOP?
First center was started in Kirlapana, not in the current place where we are now operating from Colombo 4. Actually, at one time, after 2 years, we moved from Kirlapana to Colombo 4.
All right, so it started very small. How many students you all had?
Actually, I had only 3 staff members. So in my very first class, I remember I was lecturing for 4 students. That is how I started in a very small building. We probably maybe less than 2,000 square feet. It's
all
a very humble beginning.
Yeah. All big brands have a story like that. Even Coca-Cola, they sold only 25 bottles in their first year. So, can you talk about it a bit more, Doctor? Because a lot of people start their businesses and close down within 1 year or 1.5 years. They don't hold on. You don't get results at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that is quite exactly because some people start businesses. My concept is you think big, start small. I didn't want to just run the company with 4 students. I had a big idea. I had a lot of big dreams, but then I started it very small. Alternatively, some people started very big, and then your overheads are high at the beginning. That is where you will not be able to sustain. When you start small, I was able to manage to run this business with the salary that I earned as a doctor and with a few thousand rupee income from the students. I was able to break even. So that is how it was started. So I was able to tolerate poor results, poor performance, even for a longer time.
Think big, start small, says Dr. Dayan Rajapakse. Let's go to a short commercial break and come back soon. Welcome back. You're watching the Game Changers on our television. Today's game changer is Dr. Dayan Rajapakse, founder, managing director, eSoft Group. How was eSoft back then in 2000, doctor? What did you all offer at the very beginning?
Actually, more than products, I was selling an idea, a concept, because I had a dream for the youth of this country. I had a dream for the IT industry. That is how I built up my organization. Why I branched out to all parts of the corners is I wanted to get everyone engaged, rather than just running a center in Colombo. So still my dream is not fully realized. If Sri Lanka becomes probably earning about $5 billion US dollars per annum from the IT industry, that is where I think our capacity is. So we are actually we branded eSoft in that way. It is a solution for the youth of the country, rather than just one or two products. So we changed the products, introduced new products, came up with new ideas, just to continue our journey. Still we are doing that.
How did the brand eSoft come up?
There was no special reason. It's just a name. It's about software and electronics and technology. So because of that, we just use some innovative name, eSoft.
All right. What are the challenges you faced when you introduced this at the very beginning? You might have a lot of challenges, but something our viewers would love to listen to.
One of the major challenge was capital. For any entrepreneur starting from the grassroots level, you have limitations of capital. Still today I have limitations of capital. All what I wanted to do I cannot do because I have limited funds, investment capacity.
That's something interesting, doctor. Can you stress on in finding out capital for entrepreneurs? Because a lot of youth today, they have fantastic ideas out there, but the basics.
Yeah. Actually, in early stage in your career, banks even won't support you, right? I had difficulties at that time. So, best thing is to start up with a small capital. For IT company, you don't need to have a very big capital. For example, you can start an IT company in your home, your own room. Just a couple of PCs, a few of your friends can work together. And you work without looking demanding. You use your capacity and work, so then you don't have very high payroll. I would like to share for the youngsters, more than 10 big IT companies were started in US in garages. Right? So for example, even Apple was started in a garage. Google started in a garage. Right? So they're not looking for comforts initially. They are not looking for fashionable offices. Just a basic environment where you can engage and do your work.
What is it really like to be a lecturer in your own business? Does it give the insight, the feel, what the students really acquire, and you provide them?
That is a secondary benefit, because when I do lecture, I get first-hand information. I meet the students, I understand their problems, maybe grievances, what they have, and how we need to change, even change our curriculums and things like that. I can get that idea when I'm a lecturer. Other thing is actually I love lecturing. I like sharing my knowledge, sharing my experience and so on. So therefore I will not give up lecturing.
That's interesting. Have you reached the ultimate of your vision? Anything new coming up?
Still not, actually. Life is a journey. So you have goals and you have more goals. So my journey still continues. I have come to a certain level, but that's not the ultimate point I want to be in. I have some further ideas. I told you I'm seeing a dream from the youth of this country. I want to really do something for the youngsters in the country. That is, from kindergarten, I want to give technology education to these people. At the moment, my setup at the moment is only for school leavers. So we are not doing something for the children who are school-going children at the moment. I'm going to start up a new company in the near future to serve them, because I think that is where we need to put our focus. IT is something that you can give it to a very young person at a very early age.
They adopt it very soon.
They learn very fast and they will do wonders.
Latest introduction from eSoft is the LEAP Foundation. It's like our viewers would love to listen. They see LEAP all around,
Yeah.
but the real
What is the idea?
Yeah, the idea.
Actually, this is also came up not because I thought about some product and so on. This is came up because of a problem that I saw when I offer IT services, education services in the country. We have a lot of intelligent students sometimes who miss the university because their A-level results are not that good, but they have the capacity to become useful professionals who can serve to the country. But investment capacity was not there. So that is why I thought of introducing a program called Learn, Earn and Pay. So in my opinion, people should be ready to take challenges, ready to make sacrifices, because if you can, in IT you can find little odd jobs and earn something and pay for your education. But you will have to make a little bit of sacrifices, right? You will have to probably study at weekend, work during the weekdays. So that is how you can start a new journey and change your life, change your family's prospects.
Doctor, when it comes to LEAP, do you all find them jobs as well?
Yeah, that's what our objective here. We recruit the students first because we can't find them job without having any competencies. Employers are not looking for paper qualification, they are looking for competencies. So what we will do is we recruit intelligent, capable students who are willing to undergo this process, and we expose them to potential employers. Already we have discussed with some employers. Some employers actually gave the idea to us, they want some people like this. So at different stages, these students will be exposed to potential employers. They will come and interview these students and see whether they have the right capabilities which the employer wants. It can be as early as just after joining 3 months, just after 3 months of joining, or it can be maybe after 6 months, after 1 year.
You'll be giving a basic knowledge.
Yeah,
for that
we will
6
be
months.
giving a basic knowledge, and we will sometimes customize our training to match the employer's requirements and give them the skills what employer demands as early as possible so that they get placed in a company.
So this process, how long does it take?
So basically the learning period is 3 years, but if sometimes the employer demands that you can continuously study, you'll have to probably study for 2 years, then take a break and study another 1 year. It might take 4 years. But repayment plan, you study for 3 years, but the repayment plan goes up to about 5 years. So without a bank loan, we give a repayment plan of 5 years. That is also to bring down the monthly installment, so that will be more affordable.
So this you've taken this across the country. So
Yeah.
how is the feedback of it?
Very good feedback. Actually, I know that this solves the problem of many people. It solves the problem of parents not being able to finance for their education. It gives a solution to the youth of the country. They can realize their dreams, becoming qualified people, and also it gives a solution to potential employers, because sometimes the employers find it difficult to find the right talents that they want.
So the challenges, we spoke about your challenges in bringing up the brand eSoft up, but how did you make people trust in you? Because when it comes to private education in Sri Lanka, they think twice before they enroll.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to build that trust?
It's all based on what we have offered them. We have changed the lives of many people in the country. I'm really happy, my students, when I go overseas, they work in foreign companies, they are migrated and they're doing well. Some people have started their own companies in Sri Lanka. So that is actually that is real proof of what we have done. That is how our trust has built up to this level. So this trust is not the same when I started. Just after 3 years after I started, I didn't have the same trust, because when you put more and more people, more lives have been changed, more people realize their dreams through our education system, then the word of mouth, it spreads.
It's word of mouth which which made people
up to this level. We do run commercials and all that is there, but only thing ultimately to what extent people trust us depends on how we have changed and how we have solved their problems.
That's interesting. What do you think the country needs right now in terms of IT? Are we already there, or we are still coming up the curve?
No, actually, we are not already there, because we just reached $1 billion US dollar foreign earning last year. So, which is not where we can be. When you look at our neighbor like India, they have gone much higher heights than us. So I think we have a better potential. We are a smaller country. We have more intelligent people, capable people. Our language proficiency is good. So I think this is not the ultimate level. I believe the way to move forward is the people who go to the industry with experience, they should take risk, and they should start on their own companies. For example, startup companies. If 1,000 people, 2,000 people, let's say 5,000 people start up new companies, then the industry will get a boom.
All right. So is like getting into other qualification, or like starting to offer other qualifications like business management, hospitality. Why is that?
As I told you, we don't sell a product. We sell an idea and a concept. My concept is giving opportunities to the youth in this country. So where the demands are coming, we offer them through our education system. Why hospitality? Because we have a boom in tourism in the country. I know you can see the number of hotels and other properties coming up here. Do we have the workforce needed for these people to run these institutions? I don't think. I mean, if you do not get our youth qualified in these areas, we will have to import people. Why we want to give opportunities to the people in other countries when we have a lot of youngsters here?
Definitely. Your views on the tourism industry. As you said, you see a lot of hotels coming up. Are we Sri Lankans giving the real touch and feel for tourism? Because in terms of our marketing, we are still not strong. Because if you see our neighboring countries, they give a lot of package solutions. People can choose them easily. They made it very, very convenient for you to travel in those countries. I think we have not come up to that particular level. We are blessed with natural beauty, but we
don't sell it. We don't sell it like the other people, because it's all about competition. Right? Sri Lanka is not the only travel destination a traveler is having. There are so many options. So if you have people compare, what is their value for money? Is there convenience? Is there comfort? Are there luxuries? Can we do our hobbies in this country? We have to offer these solutions to the people. I have a travel company also in my group. We are into online travel business. Because I think through social media and online media, our tourism can be taken to a different level.
That's something interesting that I didn't know about. But we have
merged. We have a company called iBolation, which is actually has built up a portal, which is a unique portal where you can plan your entire travel itinerary if you are traveling in Sri Lanka, from transport to hotel accommodation to sightseeing. You can do from this one.
That would be a perfect thing to look up to, to our youth in the country. Can you talk about a bit more, Doctor? Because you've taken the travel industry, merging it with your
technology.
So a bit about that.
Yeah. So what I have done is using technology to promote Sri Lankan tourism. So on our portal, anyone can partner. If you are a transport company, your services can be offered through us. If you are doing sightseeing, say whale watching or wildlife in the country, you can be part of our portal. So I want to, give the international exposure to local brands.
Oh, that's becoming, the talk is becoming even more interesting right now. But we have to go to a short commercial break. Let's go to a short commercial break and come back soon. Welcome back. You're watching The Game Changers on our television. Doctor, your views about the current education system in Sri Lanka?
I think we need to change quite a lot in that, because we have a traditional education system which we have been running from the 60s, 70s onwards, I guess. So, and I believe we try to teach a lot, but now today people don't teach that much. You make the students learn. So I think we are more exam oriented, which is actually creating a lot of stress to some students. Even the real talent doesn't come out at these exams. I think we need to look at conceptually on these matters and bring some big changes. Learning rather than teaching, maybe assessments and continuous assessment rather than just one exams.
Doctor, when it comes to our middle school education system, it's wide.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like 8 to 11 subjects they teach a little kid.
Yeah.
But when we look at a country like New Zealand, when a kid loves to play rugby, he's 100% educated about rugby and sports sciences. But why can't we adopt to that system?
That's what I think system needs changes, because we don't have flexibility in our education. People have to just, everyone has to learn the same thing. For example, if you take up to O levels, every student in this country learns the same thing, except for a few subjects you just, take as extra subjects. Otherwise, the core elements are same.
Do you think that system that I mentioned is
it's
ideal?
modular. It's ideal actually. You give some basic knowledge. I think, as you say, it's too many subjects. We give too much of subjects. So ultimately, people do not learn the basic life skills. I don't see in our education system giving basic life skills which everyone needs. That need to be part of the training. And then let them choose their own areas and pursue on that line. So modular system is what is going to help.
When it comes to a degree, doctor, how should a student choose what he is eligible to do?
It's not about eligibility. It's just how do you choose your profession? How do you choose your field? I think it should be based on two factors. One thing is about your skills, your capacity, your competencies, and your liking. Whether you like something, if you're passionate about something, choose that particular area. That is where you're going to do well. In my case, I did medicine, but I was not passionate about medicine. But then I switched my career and became an IT professional, because that is where my passion was. An entrepreneur. So I learned business and IT because that's my passion. So that's one factor. The second factor is you should look at also the opportunities. As you say, now we talked about in the 90s, we saw booming IT industries. That is an opportunity. So youngsters should look at what are the demanding areas, where the new opportunities will come. Ask from your, if you have elder brothers or sisters, ask from them, right? See, talk to the people if you have relatives in other countries. Then you will see the new trends.
In your perspective, what are the trends that you see, doctor?
Engineering, technology, IT is going to be the future. A lot of merging of technologies. Like we see a lot of hybrid things today. So IT has to blend with medicine. IT has to blend with marketing. IT has to blend with finance. Engineering has to blend with technology. If it comes to manufacturing, automation, how you get that is mechanical engineering plus automation. So therefore, merging of industries is what's going to happen in future. For Sri Lanka, I think there are two main industries which we can focus on. One is tourism, the other one is IT. It will be the ones that can change the landscape of this country. If you can achieve sustainable development, these are the two fields, in my opinion. Yeah.
Is it good to work while studying, doctor? Because you personally, you were teaching while you were undergraduate.
That's a big opportunity for you, because otherwise you don't know what the working environment is like until you fully qualify and start looking for a job.
Today,
when you work and learn, you have an idea of getting the working environment problems and going learn that from the education system, and then apply what you learn back in the organization. So it'll be a continuous improvement of yourself.
Today we see students enter the local university and they come out after good 5 years.
Yeah.
But they start up with a basic salary after 5 years.
Yeah.
But students who get into the, I'm not supporting the private education, but we see them far way better than, performing better than the other students who are educating in the local universities.
Yeah.
But how should they manage this, doctor?
That is because the people do not focus on. Example, some of the students who go study at state universities, they don't look at soft skills. They don't look at your marketing skills. Today, actually, everybody needs marketing and sales skills. Even if you become a doctor, you need that, because patient care is all about customer service. So you have to change your mindset. Anyone, whether you're a state university or private university, if you have the mindset, you can look for a job and start with some job. Some people only want to, if you do engineering, you will not start anywhere else other than an engineer. But I think that mindset is wrong. You start as a technician. You will become an engineer someday, but you start as a technician.
That's my next question, actually. Yeah. The career.
Yeah. People
choose their careers.
Yeah.
It's a bit complicated for themselves.
Yeah.
They get stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
So what is your advice in choosing careers?
That's something I also earlier stressed a little bit about.
Yes.
So choose your career based on your passion and based on the opportunities. So think what is demanding, think about your skills, talents and passion, and then choose your field. And also another important thing is, don't hesitate to change your field. In developed countries, people change their profession even in the late 40s, even in the 50s, they change their profession. So why not change? It's comfortable. For example, my sister was a lawyer here. She migrated. She can't practice as a lawyer, so she has done nursing now. So she is going to be a nurse.
Doctor, is the IT knowledge given to local students sufficient enough to go hand in hand with the competitive world?
I don't think so, because if you look at our education system now, IT training, IT learning starts only at in year 9, which is too late. So we should start it, if you can start it from kindergarten. That is where we should look at. And also we should give them, in IT also the core is coding, and not about what are the solutions available, what systems are available. We teach them those things.
Let's talk a bit about more.
Yeah, if you want to make a change in IT field, you need to know. For example, what I am today of IT is because of my coding skills. If any new language comes, I can learn that in very short period of time. That is because my foundation is very good. Right? So today actually a lot of people who are studying IT, they think that coding is not needed for them, because they are thinking about a particular job and only try to acquire the skills needed for that particular job. Right? But core of IT is all on code. It's all systems, all the back of every system is code. So without learning coding, how can you be a successful IT practitioner?
So that's the basic.
That is the basic. Everyone must learn it, I think. And also you must learn, if you can give that knowledge in early childhood, they'll become people like Mark Zuckerberg, who can come up with new ideas.
That's not. It's something practical, right?
Yes, it's something practical. And when you have that strong foundation, you have that adaptability. You have that flexibility to change according to the situation.
Do you think the kid who is 6-year-old will adopt to this very fast?
No, there are very interesting tools which which can use animations and which can use graphics and teach them these skills. It doesn't need to be writing.
It's like learning a new language.
Yeah, it's new ways of learning computer basic programming skills.
So, Doctor, your advice to the parents who are watching Game Changers to educate their kids with IT?
I think now the little bit of change happening in the international schools, the curriculum. There are proposals in the government schools also, but I don't know how fast they will be implemented. but my message is if parents see children have passion for IT, give them as much as access to devices, electronics, components. Let them play with it. Let them play with it. There are actually now even new tools. For example, Lego kind of brands have some playing game tool sets which can teach you basics of robotics. Right? So children will play with that, but what they're learning is science and technology while playing.
So give them that experience.
Give them that. So if you can find some, if you search on internet, eBay, you will find you cannot purchase them online, and give them exposure to these things.
Doctor, what does we had a long chat. What does your future hold in terms of business? Any new good news coming to our people in Sri Lanka?
A lot of new things. Actually, we have a plan to start a very good, big international school, a little outside Colombo, close to Katunayaka. We want to start an international school where we will try to bring international students and then give a learning experience to the Sri Lankan students, a real international learning experience at the school age.
Why in Katunayaka?
No, because in Colombo it's very congested, traffic. Now we have highway access there, so people should, change their mindset. All big school doesn't need to be in your business hub. Colombo is a business hub. You have a lot of traffic, air pollution, and all that. So we want to take it out and give them in a more greener environment with all sports facilities and everything.
Doctor, your message to the youth in Sri Lanka.
Yes, actually, what I have to tell you is that as youngsters, you truly don't know your potential. That is the problem that you have. Everyone underestimates themselves. But what I have to tell you is that Sri Lankan youth is very talented. They are capable, but they are not using these talents to the ultimate potential. So explore yourself, find out about yourself, find out about your talents, and live with your passion and chase your dreams. Then you will become successful citizen and useful citizens for the country.
That's interesting. Your message to our 21 million people out there in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, citizens of this country, most of the people think that change should be done by someone else. No, change should start within yourself. You change. You make at least a little change in your household. As a professional, you make a little change in your industry. Then this country will change. We can't wait till other people develop this country. We, as citizens of this country, we need to develop it. So change should start from yourself. You change your life, your family, the country will change and country will move forward.
Be the change, the country will change, says Dr. Dayan Rajapakse, founder, managing director, ESOFT Group. Thank you very much, Doctor, for sharing your valuable time here with us. We wish you all the very best with your future endeavors. We'll be back next week with another intense, exciting episode on the Game Changers. Till then, goodbye.